the final episode of Attack on Titan, there's this scene where the rumbling is pushing what is left of humanity beyond the Paradise Island to an abyss, both metaphorically and literally. People are pushing, shoving, hitting each other to survive. We see them falling into the abyss one by one with fear and pain in their eye. Eventually, a mother that was about to fall, about to die with her baby in her hand, decides to lift him up, hoping that someone will try to help. As it all looked hopeless and the mother falls to her death, everyone starts to carry the baby in the front of the crowd, trying their best to save it. Through all this darkness, through all this killing, even when back against a literal abyss, humanity still saw hope. Not for themselves, but a hope for the future. So they carry that hope until they die, until the end. Because through all the pain and sadness, there is always place for hope. This to me is the perfect representation of Attack on Titan as a whole. This one scene that just stayed with me days after watching the final. A final that I would consider a masterpiece. Because as sad as it was, you can't expect a happy ending to a horror story. Or can you? Because while I loved this fitting, tragic ending to the series, I found it weird that it lacked that one element I was talking about. Hope. Going through the ending for the first time, I think I got the same understanding as most people. Eren died, Mikasa found a lover and had a child. To finally be buried side by side with Eren, time passed and humanity started another war. Paradise Island is destroyed in the process. Later in the far future, we see Kid entering the tree and the cycle of Titan continue. It's a fitting and powerful ending because there's clearly no ending to the cycle of violence and death. This has defined humanity since the beginning of time. But like I said, there is no real hope here, and so I sat with this ending for multiple days, taking back on the masterpiece as a whole. Without watching any video or reading any analysis, I wanted time to digest it myself. But even so, some of it reached me anyway. I hear that some people think Eren has become a bird and that there's a bunch of hidden meaning across the entire ending that we didn't figure out yet. So I started to dig for myself. In the fake previous release of the manga, there is those short story of the character being in a high school setting. It's all fun and game, but something weird start to happen. As the story go on, Eren start to see dead people. It is all played as joke, obviously, but he also end up seeing Ymir, who some people think is a god in this universe, which seemed like nothing special until the final chapter, where we see those versions of the character talking one last time, doing a meta commentary on the ending. For the most part, it's nothing new, it's just a fun little gag talking about the ending. But that's until they start to acknowledge the Titan existing in their universe, that they were here 100 years ago. But why include this? Is this a hint at rebirth? And it happened around 100 years after Mikasa's death? Is there a reincarnation cycle in Attack on Titan? So wait, isn't that little girl at the end of the story familiar? With her little scarf and those iconic short hair? Where is she going? The tree? The same tree as the beginning of the story? The tree that kept the spirit of Ymir alive for thousands of years after her death? The same tree Eren was in at the end? Maybe this wasn't a representation of the never-ending cycle of death, but the start of a new beginning. A future with Mikasa and Eren reborn in a new era at peace together finally. I think it makes sense. Because even through all the pain and sadness, there's always place for hope.